My name's Steve and I love people who make things.
You might need to take off your trousers, and we see...
A number of times people have asked me to take off my trousers in a workshop hand. They sit at the heart of our communities, spreading wealth across the country.
I look forward to Mondays.
I love Mondays too.
And I'm going to die here. I'm never going to retire.
The isolation is great. No crowds apart from the tourists and sheep.
And the occasional podcaster like me. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
These are uncertain economic times. Keep our manufacturers alive and we'll thrive.
We all learn how to do everything here because there's so few of us left.
It is becoming a little harder to get young kids out of college that want to get their hands dirty and learn some of these very traditional art forms.
Join me as we compile a list of the greatest items made in the UK and hear stories from inside our factories.
My father has a phrase, he said, you should plan like you're going to live forever and live like you're going to die tomorrow, which I think is a very good way of looking at it.
We need you to live much longer than that, Martin. Welcome to the factory next door and welcome to Stoke-on-Trent. Can I just say I have missed you enormously. Wowzers, October seemed a long month. It is great to be hanging out with you again. Now then, it won't surprise you to know that we're in Stoke-on-Trent for a pottery. Now we're in a part of the city that is full of factories, though truth be told, a lot of them are derelict and some of them are falling down. But we are going to a factory which is most definitely alive and kicking. We're meeting up with the fantastic illustrator Susan Rose, who's just bought a pottery. We're going to learn all about that and much more. Whilst I pop in and say hello, have a listen to what's coming up in this week's show.
Because dyslexia wasn't really recognised when I was at school, I was just told I was constantly stupid.
What prompted you to decide to buy a factory?
That's a very interesting question. And I think...
I'm just gonna share the sound of Keith doing this.
I've got sketchbooks going back years and years and years and years. Many of my sketches are now on pieces of china.
You think you just come and do slap a print on and that's easy. But they come and have a go and you think, God, how do you do that?
Ernest Shackleton changed my life.
Susan's just saved a butterfly. Yeah, is there no end to your talent, Susan?
Right, I'm Susan Rose and I'm CEO of Susan Rose China Limited.
Okay, Susan, where are we?
We are in the, I suppose, casting room actually. And this is Adam.
Adam, I need you to tell me, what are you doing here, Adam?
So I'm making the half-pint tankards.
I'm going to have to ask a series of silly questions here. Because at the moment, what we're seeing here is white cubes, and you're telling me you're making tankards.
Yeah, tankards, yeah.
Large kind of mugs.
Yeah.
Now, they don't look like that to me, so you're going to need to explain to me how this works.
So basically we'll open them up. It's 3-part mould. We'll open them up, take them out, and the cup will be there with the handle on as well. The handle's already in the mould.
So Tony can show you.
Filled one earlier,
Tony. Hello, Tony. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Ah, okay. Now I understand. Okay, Tony's just taken apart one of the cubes, and you can see that there's 3 parts to it. A bottom, and then 2 sides to it. And when you take it apart, there is the tankard.
Yeah. That's it.
But doesn't it look beautiful?
What we actually fill the mould with slip. So these pipes here contain the slip. The tank is on the other side of this wall, and so it's all gravity fed. And then we pour out from these pipes here, and we fill the moulds up, and then tip the excess out, which is what he's done there. It's then sitting there, drying, waiting for it to be taken out.
Okay. And what did you say the material is?
Slip.
Slip.
Slip, yeah.
Okay.
It's clay and water and sodium silicate all put together in a plunger.
Gotcha.
So this is
I love it.
You should tell Steve how long you pour the slip in here. How long you leave it?
We leave it for 7 minutes. This particular one.
7 minutes seems very precise. Can I ask why 7 minutes?
Because of the thickness of it. So if we leave it for 8 or 10 minutes, that would get thicker and thicker as you go along. So if we left it for, say, 4 minutes, it'd be too thin, and then we'd have cracking and stuff like that. And if this is just the perfect time for us to do this shape.
So with time so crucial, I'm going to ask, where is the clock, Tony? There is no clock in this room.
He uses he's got a phone and he puts his stopwatch on.
So I've always been passionate about birds, and my parents had this lovely old man who used to come and help me in the garden called Mr. Brightman. Mr. Brightman was a very keen ornithologist and a veteran of the war, and he used to tell me all the birds, and I used to spend hours outside bird watching. I had my own little hide at the bottom of the garden. I used to spend time in the stream looking for frogs and newts. So I've always been fascinated by the environment and wildlife, and it's part of who I am. I've got sketchbooks going back years and years and years and years. Many of my sketches are now on pieces of china.
This really isn't about me. It should never really be about me, but I'll share a little story as well, which hopefully you can identify with. So my career in journalism was prompted by a bird, because I grew up as an ornithologist. And
that's why we're friends.
Yeah. And one day at the end of, kind of in a little field outside of my parents' house in the suburbs, I saw a hobby.
Oh.
And I was just so struck by it. And I wrote a little piece as a kid for, kind of the bird watching monthly kind of thing about seeing this hobby. And that was the first thing I ever got published, and that prompted me to pursue my career in journalism. There you go.
Well, that's fascinating because, of course, when I was at school, I was dyslexic. And I noticed that you're left-handed as well, and I'm left-handed. My father, I think, would have been left-handed, but he was made to write with his right hand. My son is left-handed, and we all quite have an artistic streak. But because dyslexia wasn't really recognised when I was at school, I was just told I was constantly stupid. So I never really... I developed the side of my brain that worked, which was that engagement with nature and art and being creative.
I assume that actually really impacted your confidence. Did it? Or were you able to just kind of
I think it did, because
that?
I did withstand it, but being told you're stupid all the time is not good. I would never have been able to stand up in front of a room and speak or do anything like that. Whereas now I can, because I feel confident. This is who I am. You either like me or you don't.
At what point did you realise, actually, you're very good and you knew you were going to become very successful then? At what point were you like, actually, teachers in that particular instance didn't know what they were talking about, and actually, look at me now?
I think when I left school, I thought, I'll just jolly well show the lot of you. I'm not stupid. And I think I'm very, very lucky. I have always had the support and the encouragement of Charles. And actually, in the end, he gave up being a doctor to help me because he saw something in me.
I should flag, Charles is your husband, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And that just gave me the final bit of confidence. This is who I am. I want to be recognised for who I am. I don't want to be one of the crowd. This is me.
Tony, did you say you've done this 30 years?
No, longer than that. It was 1979.
I'm wrong again. I keep being wrong, Tony.
No, I've been in business for 30 odd years. I started in 1979 making this sort of stuff.
Why did you start?
My ex-girlfriend's father was a manager on a pot bank, and he said, "Do you want a job?" when I was 16, and I said, "Yeah." So, and I got the job.
And you've become very good at it.
So they say.
What happened to the girlfriend?
We split up.
Your love of pottery continued?
Yeah.
Oh, into another room. This is a big room. And we are faced by a huge... Can I describe that as a kiln? Is that?
Yeah, it's the biscuit kiln, a gas kiln, this one is.
Why is it called a biscuit kiln?
because that's the biscuit firing. The first firing is the biscuit firing, as we call it, and that's the clay firing, and then it goes hard and shrink. The piece shrinks as well. So these tankards, that's that tankard I've just showed you in there that we've just made. So that's that once it's shrunk.
Oh wow, yeah. Tony's just put two side by side, one before it goes in the kiln and one when it comes out of the kiln, and you can really see the difference.
Yeah.
It's an impressive thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge.
1.5 meters cubed,
Possibly, yeah.
maybe even 2 meters cubed.
2 meters cubed, I think it's. Because it must take quite a long time to load, actually, Tony.
Sometimes we're filling it with small stuff, and when you've got all these small items going in, it takes a long time then.
But it does. I'm going to give a really ridiculous comparison. Don't hit me, Tony. It's a bit like, when you're doing the dishwasher. All the small knives and forks and teaspoons, it's just like, oh, that takes ages. Whereas if you're just throwing in a load of pans, it's like super quick.
Do you want to see the next procedure?
I want to see it all. I've lost my cup of tea again.
When I left art college, I had a job. The parents of some friends of mine said, would I like to go and do some work for them? And I said yes. It was an illustrative job. They had a printer. So I started doing some watercolour illustrations. I was good at them. And another very nice lady saw my work and said, oh, could you come and do some designing for me? I'm an interior decorator. And actually, funny enough, I've got someone who wants those kind of floral paintings on some tiles. Can you do it? So I said a massive lie and said, yes, of course I can do it, because I believe there's no such word as no. You just have to find a way of doing it. And then, of course, someone came and asked, could I paint on a mug? And I said, oh, yes, of course I can. Hadn't got a clue. But Marlborough Tiles were very sweet, and they put me in touch with the lovely factory in Stoke. So I drove all the way up to Stoke, introduced myself and said, oh, could you help me, please? I need to learn how to paint on some mugs. They sold me mugs and they helped me. And then after a while, I started doing Christmas fairs and I was hand painting everything. But then people were saying, could I have 10 of this, 5 of this? And it was clearly becoming very, very busy. And I took the business, what we were doing, to a friend of ours who works in the city and said, do you think you could help me? And he said, well, you've got a very good business, but basically you're running a charity. So you need to sort yourself out. And then we became a little bit more business-like and started to think about how we could run it as a business. This year we bought the China manufacturing, and that is how I've got here, basically from a sketchbook and being told I was useless.
Hi, I want to jump in here and give a shout out to our show's partner, a company that has a long history of helping manufacturers optimise their operations. AVEVA is a leader in industrial intelligence and was founded almost 50 years ago in Cambridge. Its software connects and empowers people to improve plant productivity, sustainability and business agility. And if you're interested in manufacturing, which I'm guessing you are if you're hanging out with me, AVEVA's got a newsletter. Please do sign up to it. Go to www.aveva.com/factory. I'll put the website in the show notes. My thanks to AVEVA for supporting our manufacturers and our show.
So now it needs the glaze going on to make them go shiny and glossy sort of thing.
Right. And that's Keith's job. I love the sounds of what you're doing, Keith. There's just a nice kind of natural sound about it.
You dip it in, shake it around different ways.
Yep.
It's different items. You have to shake sometimes different way than what you do with these. Yeah.
Now, to my untrained eye, it just looks like you're pushing it into the liquid, throwing it around a bit, and then sticking it to the side of you. But actually, you do exactly the same movement for every piece, which makes me think there's more of an art to that than just kind of swilling it around in the liquid a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's quite similar to the skill of casting, you know, looking at that mould and knowing that actually it might need 30 seconds longer. And it's the same thing with this. You're judging it, aren't you?
I guess you don't want it too thin in places. You don't want it too thick in places. I'm just gonna share the sound of Keith doing this. That is the sound of someone skillfully covering mugs with glaze. Keith, thanks for chatting to me. So just to help me understand the process, you know, because we're talking about kind of the moulding, and then, you know, kind of there was, you know, things like you're waiting afterwards for them to dry out, and then obviously they're in the biscuit kiln, you know, that might be a day, and then obviously after Keith working his magic with the glaze, again you're waiting overnight, and then you're back into the gloss kiln. How long does it take for a mug?
If you fill it on a Monday and empty it on a Monday, you can sponge it on a Tuesday, as long as there's enough. You could place it on a Wednesday, it won't come off till Thursday, and then so you're probably looking at about 8 or 9 days. You'd have to go through a weekend. So if you started on a Monday making a mug, you'd have to go through to the weekend, and then maybe to Tuesday, Wednesday before you could get the mug in gloss.
I feel, once again, Tony, I feel so naive. I just expected a mug you could kind of, you know, I don't know, a couple of days at best, but you're talking about effectively, certainly a week, maybe a week and a half.
It can be done quicker if you're doing these things on the same day, you know, because they aren't speedy things like these ones aren't. You can get speedy kilns that fire them up very quickly, but these are just normal kilns that fire them up, you know, overnight sort of thing.
Before I leave you to the rest of your day, Tony, can I ask, why did you sell up? Why did you decide now was the time to exit?
Why did I do it? I think because the wife wants to go to Spain. I don't know, my father, he sort of retired at 55 with Alzheimer's disease and died at 60, so I thought, you know, perhaps I want, you know, to end this and have a few years in Spain if I can. So I think that's the big reason.
I think you've earned your time in Spain.
Yeah, I do as well, yeah.
You're very successful, you're selling mugs. I'm just going back a couple of years now. Going back a couple of years, you're very successful, you're selling mugs, you've got an amazing client list. What prompted you to decide to buy a factory?
That's a very interesting question. And I think I realised that I had to secure my supply chain. I had to do that
Were
to
you
survive.
worried you would lose your supply chain?
Yes, I was worried. I was going to different factories asking them for China, and I could see I had to get that supply. I had to secure that supply chain to make it successful. And we were one of Theo Pepitas's small business winners. I actually pitched to him for investment. There were 3 of us he chose. And he gave us some very, very good advice, which actually I have followed. He didn't give any of the 3 any investment, but he was very good and very supportive. And I listened to what he was saying, but I realised that I still had to get hold of my supply chain, because otherwise I haven't got a business. It was all about me. Now I realise it isn't about, well, yes, of course it's about me. The name on the tin is my name. But it's much bigger than that. I have to build up a brand. It can't always be Susan Rose painting this, but it can be that Susan Rose stands for something personalised, something in fantastic quality, great clients and great client relationships. I have to look after my team. I have to make sure everyone's happy. And if that means coming up to Stoke and making cake and wrapping up bits of china, well, that's perfect. That's fine.
Was there...
I know you're going to ask me an awkward question.
No, not at all, not at all. But I am interested if you ever thought, actually, this might not be the right path.
Yes, of course, I have. And I've questioned it many times. Is this really what I want to do? But then I thought, I've got so far, and if I can do this and make this bit work, then I really have got a business and I've got something I can pass on. And it isn't, I feel really strongly about passing things on to the next generation. I always want younger people to come and help. I want to employ younger people. I want people to realise that actually that they don't just have to go and work for Amazon. They can do something different. They can be an apprentice. They don't have to go to university. Here in Stoke, it's full of, it's skill that's been passed down from generation to generation. We can't afford to lose it. What we've done at buying that business, it has been at the cost of a lot of other things. It has been the cost of friendships, time.
When you talk about losing friends, I'm just interested, is that because there were friends who just perhaps didn't agree with what you've done, or is it you've lost friends just because the time and investment you have to put in the business means you've had to effectively slim down
so basically I know who my
book.
best friends are, and they've stuck with me, and they forgive me that I haven't rung them for 6 months or something. And also after COVID, I developed epilepsy, which was very, very unfortunate. I had 2 choices, sink or swim, and I decided I was going to swim. And I quickly found out who my friends were, because they stood with me, and I couldn't drive for a year. But I kept the business going here. People were coming round and picking me up and saying, right, come on, Susan, going out for a walk today. Those are my friends. So I know now, if my house burnt down tomorrow, actually the most important thing I have in my life are my friends and my family.
Okay, so we've just jumped in a car and driven to a second location. Susan, tell me where we've come to.
So we're just off the Uttoxeter Road, almost within walking distance of the factory. And this is my workshop that has been run by Andy Graham for many years. Come in, Steve.
Okay, nice.
Hi,
Lovely.
Alan, how are you?
Oh, there's a beautiful butterfly trapped on the other side of the... Susan's just saved a butterfly. Yeah, is there no end to your talent, Susan?
This is Alan.
Hi there, how you doing?
Alan is our printmaker. And this is Steve.
Okay, so we walk down the stairs into a big room full of thin shelves, which I guess you're putting printed paper on.
These are drying racks.
And drying racks, that's the word I was trying to search for but couldn't find. And then you've got huge printing press there. Oh, wow, look at that!
Was that yours? Well, there you go.
Susan's furiously tapping me on the elbow because just in front of us there's a special factory next door wrap.
That's it. That's a litho print ready to go onto the china just before it's fired. So that it comes in like this, goes upstairs, and then that's transferred onto your mug before it goes in the kiln.
Wow.
And a bit of hand painting.
That is so exciting.
Then be sent to you. And
into a room full of mugs everywhere. Hello there. How are you doing? Hello there.
Nice seeing you.
Very nice to meet you.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Excellent.
So Andy is a supreme decorator, artist. He's been in the China industry all his life, and your father was.
Yeah, that's it. 45 years into it now.
Really? Wow. So you've got a mug in front of you. You've got a tiny little brush.
Yes.
Absolutely tiny little brush.
All the rings, all the jewels, all the bows, and all the little berries. And I'm painting all in gold on everything on the piece, and all on the sword. I'm highlighting all the little gold areas, and on the windows, highlighting the golds. And
Wow, so you're doing the gold accents on all of those images and
yes.
around the rim and the handle of the mug.
Yeah, and then I finish it off by putting French edges on them, and a solid gold handle on the all in best burnished gold.
Oh, blimey, how long does it take to do each one?
A long time. This is second day in, and I've got 20 to do.
Is decorating your favourite part of the job?
Yeah, I do. I find it very calming and fulfilling at the end of the day. But mainly everything, really. I like everything. It's a bit pressurised sometimes.
Ooh, tell me why. Susan's wandered off now,
Yeah,
so you
because
can tell us.
Normally got to be done for a deadline for a customer, and sometimes we're that busy all the time. We've got so many customers, and it's fitting it all in and planning it all and planning the kilns, because you're firing all different temperatures for different items, from golds, different colours, different wear.
And also, I imagine, so looking across the room here, so there's you and there's two colleagues, all working away decorating. I imagine also, because it is by hand, this part of the process, there's actually not that much flex in terms of, you can't just switch the machine on to overdrive.
That's it. I look at it at the beginning of the week and I'll say, I can do that, and I think, that's so many kilns, that's so much wear, and we just get stuck into it, really. Then we get added orders in there, which then makes it more difficult, but yeah, it's good. Fresh is the way.
Hi, my name's Leo and my dad is Steve, host of this show. I want to say thanks to everyone who follows the Factory Next Door. You are all lovely people. My dad says everyone who listens is a friend. A big shout out to those of you who have starred, rated or reviewed the show. I hope you get joy from this podcast. I get it from video games, but each their own. I'll let you get back to the show now. Bye!
You work 7 days a week. Do you find time? Do you find time to reflect on your achievements and be like, Susan, wow, you have done some good stuff?
I have a dog and I walk her every single day. And usually I walk first thing in the morning. Sometimes I walk with girlfriends and sometimes I walk alone. And when I walk alone, that's a very good time for reflection, for thinking about where you are, how you live your life and how you might do things better. I've achieved because I'm married to Charles. I have Richard, who's helping do the finances. I've met Andy. They're all part of the achievement. And when people say, oh, well done, you've done so well, I think I couldn't have done it without them. The achievement is all theirs as well. We're a team. We all do, different things. But I think what is the achievement is keeping everyone together and making everyone feel that they're valued and that they can make a difference. And I think that's incredibly important. It's Liz's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Liz.
We should have our birthdays off.
You should have your birthday off. I totally agree with you, Liz. I'm with you all the way. How are you celebrating your birthday today, Liz?
Most probably going out for a meal later. Go for a curry.
Oh, that sounds nice. What brought you first into the industry?
My family, all my family worked, and then my mum, she used to work on Hudson Mill when she left school, to where she trained. My father worked on pottery before he went into the pit. My oldest brother worked in the pots. All my other brothers worked in the pots, but they've since left to do other jobs.
I love it. I love the shorthand there, the pots. The pots, the name for the industry. You mentioned there about quite a few of your family have moved on to other careers. Yeah. What kind of careers have they moved on to do?
My sister went into care. My oldest brother went in the pit. My younger brothers went on Donbur.
Oh, what's that?
Donbur. It's an engineering place. And like I say, I just stayed in it. I did have a break once where I went on to screw fix and it just wasn't me. So I ended up coming back to the pots.
Why, when you went to try something else and work for that company, what was it that made you think, actually, this isn't for me? I just want to be back in the pots.
I wasn't happy. That's why I want to come back in the pots. Because you meet some nice people. All the work you do, you see it after. And that's what I like about the decorating end, because you see the piece after and it's so pretty.
There's a very strong, tangible evidence of your skill right there in your hand.
And this is where I think a lot of people who've never been in the pots don't realise what the skills are. They think you just come in and do slap a print on and that's easy. But they come and have a go and they think, God, how do you do that?
final couple of thoughts. One is, I'd love to know what your favourite mug is, because you have a whole range of stunning mugs.
I can tell you my favourite mug within a second, because this is the mug that changed my life. And it was the mug I did about Ernest Shackleton, because I learnt more from Ernest Shackleton and what he achieved than almost anything else. And that is so important to me. And I do a lot of polar work. I'm very involved with the polar world. I'm a fellow of the Royal Geographical Society. I've always had an inquiring mind. Ernest Shackleton changed my life.
What an end to the show. Ernest Shackleton changed my life. Susan, thank you enormously for the mug that you've made for us on the factory next door. But more than that, thank you enormously for what you are doing here in Stoke. Okay, through the autumn leaves and into our shed of greatness goes the China mug by Susan Rose, number 41 on our list of the greatest things we make here. Huge thanks to Susan and her team at Stoke-on-Trent for their hospitality, warmth and expertise, and for making us such a beautiful mug. If you want to see photos of it, do say hello on Instagram at the factory next door. Let's meet again in a fortnight. We'll be up in Sheffield for a manufacturer quite a few of you have been asking about us visiting. I cannot wait to take you there. For now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're happy. Until next time, bye. A final shout out to our show's partner, AVEVA, a company that has a long history of helping manufacturers optimise their operations. It's a leader in industrial intelligence and was founded almost 50 years ago in Cambridge. Its software connects and empowers people to improve plant productivity, sustainability and business agility. If you're interested in manufacturing, which I'm guessing you are if you're hanging out with me, AVEVA's got a newsletter. Please do sign up to it. Go to www.aveva.com/factory. Just a reminder, I'll put the website in the show notes. My thanks to AVEVA for supporting our manufacturers and for supporting our show.